Hey, what is going on guys? Cholo here and welcome back to where we take awesome out of the box. Now today we're going to be talking about the latest from a laptop line that has come to be known for its iconic red dot. That is right, we're going to be taking a look at the Thinkpad T14 Gen1. Alright, so before we get started, let's unbox the Thinkpad T14 Gen1. Inside we have a smaller box which contains the charger. Of course, we have the standard cable and the power brick, which is a 65-watt charger that sports a USB Type-C connector. So we are very happy to see that Lenovo decided to go with the USB Type-C connector for this charger. So of course, we have the standard safety and warranty guide and setup guide for the Thinkpad T14 G1. Next up is, I think, the laptop itself. Just need to take off these extra layers of protection. And there she is. That's a nice matte black finish, and I love this kind of finish because it is definitely not going to be a fingerprint magnet, not like the other notebooks that actually sport glossy finishes that, you know, you just can't help but get some fingerprints on them. This is a very fingerprint proof finish, definitely. Of course, you can't avoid getting some smudges, but they aren't as pronounced as if you had a glossy finish for the build of the notebook. And you can't have a ThinkPad without the signature, iconic red dot right here. More on that later because we're going to be talking about the laptop more in depth in the rest of the video. So, here we go. For the pros, we have arguably the best keyboard on a business laptop, impressive battery life, and the Ryzen 5 Pro processor delivers the goods. As for the cons, you are stuck with only one USB-C port, an unconventional microSD card slot, and the display is not ideal for outdoor use. Lenovo's Thinkpad line is known as the brand's workhorse business laptop, serving hundreds of companies. With its iconic bento box design and its stellar record for being both durable and reliable, Lenovo wants to make its Thinkpad line more accessible to everyone by using Team Red's Ryzen Pro processors, with the Thinkpad T14 Gen1 being one of the first models to use AMD's business-oriented processors. As a millennial who used to own a ThinkPad back in high school, the overall design language remains the same. You have the same boxy design, dressed in business-appropriate black. The Thinkpad T14 Gen1 has a 17.9mm chassis that is made of magnesium alloy with glass fiber, and the lid that uses glass fiber. The Thinkpad T14 Gen1 is tested against 12 military-grade requirements, staying true to the Thinkpad's lineage of being a very durable laptop. They still sport the best keyboards for business laptops with their clicky response and well-spaced keys. The keyboard layout is typical to any ThinkPad, with its spill-resistant design being perfect for those clumsy moments. May you never have them. They are also backlit, so you can keep working even at night. This makes them great for long hours of typing. The speakers and power button are found on top of the keyboard, while you have a tactile trackpad with physical buttons at the bottom and fingerprint scanner right beside it. Of course, it is not a ThinkPad without the iconic red track point in the middle of the keyboard. It may feel and look a little bit dated, but it will still be reliable for those who have gotten used to or grew up with the ecosystem. Even with its slender frame, you get a good set of ports. USB-C 3.2 Gen 2, ThinkPad docking pins, USB-A 3.0 Gen 1, HDMI port, headphone jack, and microSD card reader on the left, and an Ethernet port and an always-on USB-A 3.0 Gen 1 on the right side. While it is a modern laptop with a USB-C port, you will be using it most of the time to charge the ThinkPad. We honestly wish that Lenovo added some USB-C ports on this to, future-proof it. And perhaps swap the microSD card reader for a more usable SD card reader. For the display, the Thinkpad T14 Gen1 gets a 14-inch Full HD display with a familiar 16:9 aspect ratio. The top and bottom bezels are relatively thick by 2020 standards, with the top bezel housing the webcam and Think shutter to protect your privacy. Viewing angles are good, and the display's 95% sRGB coverage makes the Thinkpad T14 Gen1 also ideal for doing multimedia work. The panel has 250 nits max brightness, which is perfect for indoor work, but it might not be as good outdoors. For audio, the Thinkpad T14 Gen1's front-firing speakers delivered a good soundstage, The lows are present, though not as strong as those used on higher-end laptops. And there's a good separation between the mids and the highs. Audio fidelity is still consistent even at max volume, which makes it on par with other mid-range laptops at its price range. The speakers also come with Dolby Audio, which allows you to further tweak the audio settings according to the content that you are consuming. Our review unit comes with the Ryzen 5 Pro 4650U processor that is paired with 8GB RAM and 256GB NVMe SSD storage. The RAM can be upgraded further as the Thinkpad T14 Gen1 has a vacant RAM slot. The 8GB RAM included is soldered. The Ryzen 5 Pro 4650U has a 6-core 12-thread configuration, which is a jump over the 4-core 8-thread configuration of the previous generation Ryzen 5 Pro 3500U. Compared to the Core i7-10510U used on the ThinkBook Plus, the Thinkpad T14 Gen1 Ryzen 5 Pro 4650U beats the Intel Core processor in all benchmarks, save for the Geekbench single-core. That's very impressive considering that the ThinkPad is just half as much as the ThinkBook Plus. Together with its Vega integrated graphics, the Thinkpad T14 Gen1 worked perfectly for Dewey of Unbox. Tasks included batch editing photos in Lightroom, typing several articles for the site, and editing a few graphic layouts on Photoshop. While a 256GB NVMe SSD storage may sound small these days, the Thinkpad T14 Gen1's 8GB RAM did well with day-to-day work, giving me an overall smooth experience. As a business-focused processor, the Ryzen 5 Pro has added features like AMD Memory Guard for full memory encryption, native support for Microsoft Endpoint Manager, and up to 18 months of planned software stability. For software, you get Windows 10 Pro and Lenovo Vantage pre-installed. For the battery, our review unit comes with a 50Wh battery, which is roughly the same size used for the Intel-based Thinkpad T480. Running our YouTube video loop test gave us a battery life of a little over 7 hours, which is impressive for a business laptop that is priced under 52,000 pesos. One factor to the Thinkpad T14 Gen1's battery life is due to the Ryzen 5 Pro 7nm Zen 2 architecture. Charging is done via 65W USB PD. So topping up the battery from 0 to 100% will take about 2 hours. While the Thinkpad T series can be generally expensive, the current Thinkpad T480 is priced at almost 91,000 pesos. The Ryzen-powered Thinkpad T14 Gen1 makes the mainstream Thinkpad line more accessible with its sub 52,000 peso price. While it does not have the brightest display and you're stuck with just one USB-C port, the Thinkpad T14 Gen1's Ryzen 5 Pro processor gives it great value for money when it comes to overall performance and stellar battery life. The Thinkpad T14 Gen1 is priced at 51,869 pesos. Don't forget to check out the full review on unbox.ph, and also don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Hit the notification icon if you want to get them updates when we drop them videos. Once again, I am Cholo, and I'll see you guys in the next one.